Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. Today's a bit of a shitty, gloomy day and nothing too exciting going on, but I do have one positive thing, and that is that my previous car, which was a Chrysler 300 all bagged out with custom body kit and shit like that, I finally found a buyer for it. So that vehicle's been stored at my parents' house now for the last couple months, ever since I picked up, or the last month or so, ever since I picked up the Corvette, and I've been shopping around to find a good home for it. I got contacted by a gentleman who does custom wraps, and he builds all kinds of vehicles. He's built a number of different bagged vehicles in the past, and he saw the car. He was happy with the fact that it had low mileage, because for a 2005 it's only got 84,000 kilometers, which is just absurd. But he was happy with the vehicle, and he's sending a tow truck and his friend today to come pick it up. So they're going to make their way from Ajax, and I've got to head down to my parents' home, which is about an hour from where I live, and I've got to meet the buyer there and show him the vehicle and get it all loaded up on the tow truck. So that's pretty exciting. The funds that we get from selling the Chrysler 300 are obviously going to be invested into some modifications for the Corvette. It is getting parked, unfortunately, in the next couple weeks now, because we're getting towards the end of October here. But once it comes back out in spring, we've got a lot on the list to do. We've got custom wheels that we'll be ordering. We're going to do a Pro Charger. We're going to do headers. We're going to do an X-Pipe. I mean, we've got a whole lot of good stuff in line once we get it back out in March. But without further ado, it's time to jump on the road. So for one of the businesses I run, it requires that I ship packages. And a lot of those packages go to the United States, of course, since they have a much larger population than Canada. Well, when shipping packages to the United States, I have to actually drive about 45 minutes to a certain drop-off point, because I utilize a service, which I'll talk about in a later video, where they actually take the packages, they drive them across the border to the United States, and they actually ship via USPS. So they ship via the US Postal Service instead of using, Canada Post or UPS or FedEx, which have a much higher cost. By comparison, a box like this size right here, let's say, to ship something like that with FedEx to the eastern coast of the United States would probably cost me about $35 Canadian, roughly. That same package shipped utilizing this drop-off service and shipping service that I use is only about $15, maybe $18 at most. So I'm just on my way to my parents' place to meet the buyer for my Chrysler 300, but I've got some packages to drop off on the way, and it saves me doing a trip later. So I'm just here now to drop those off. Good old Corvette with its trunk space just always comes in handy. It's been raining and shit today, so the car doesn't look that great, but what are you gonna do? At least the ceramic coating keeps it looking somewhat decent. Anyways, I'm gonna drop off these packages like I said, and I'm gonna get back on the road. So until later. Made it down to my parents' house where the car is parked, and just getting it started up and getting it off the ground, because over time it just kind of airs out, and it was on the pavement when I got here. So here's a quick look at the car. It's not at ride height, so that's why there's some nasty wheel gap right now. But yeah, this is a 2005 Chrysler 300. This is actually the first vehicle I ever owned. I've had it for a lot of years now. It's got 22-inch wheels on it. These are dub wheels. It has a Corsa exhaust on the back here. The inside of the car is all completely stock. It's a mess right now, but it's all completely stock. It's a touring edition. So it's got the cloth, the regular cloth interior. It's got the air ride controller right here. It's a 4-point controller, so 1 arrow for each wheel. These 2 here are for the front wheels, and the 2 on the other side are for the back wheels. Yeah, I installed a Sony double din in here. It's also got a 12-inch JBL powered sub in the rear, and a Hertz amp that powers the kicker speaker setup that we did in here. We did some custom speakers in here as well. You know, the main reason that I stopped modifying this car and stopped pursuing it as a project initially was that the gentleman who painted the car just didn't do a good job, unfortunately. He put on the body kit that I ordered, which is a xenon body kit, and when he put it on, he didn't prep the surface prior to painting, and the paint started to peel within a couple months of me getting it out of the body shop. So that was a pretty demotivating factor for me working on the car, and just over time, I guess I kind of lost interest. I always had another vehicle that I was driving, and this one just kind of seemed like a bit of a money pit. Having said that, this vehicle did teach me quite a bit about, you know, about what I like about vehicles and what I'm looking for in a build a lot of the time. You know, parts for this were pretty readily available, and you know, I still love this body type, and if I had the garage space or a large property where I could just park this, you know, in the grass or something and cover it up, I would. But unfortunately, I don't have that. So the person who's coming in to buy the car should probably be here in about a half hour or so I'll check in when they get here. So the tow truck driver has arrived to take the 300 away. We noticed that when we were loading it that the back left airbag, it's got a minor leak right now, but other than that, it's all good. You see it's getting loaded up here now. It's off to its buyer in Ajax. I'm in Brampton, so it's not even going that far. Maybe I'll see it on the road in the future. But one final look at what was my first ever vehicle, and the first vehicle that I kind of got the passion for modding and customizing and making your own with when it comes to cars. It's all jacked up at max height right now, so that it's just a little bit easier getting it on and off the tow truck, of course. One final look.
What do you want to do?
So yeah, that's headed out, and sad to see it go, but happy that it's going to a good home where the owner plans to wrap it. He's going to put new wheels on it. He's going to continue the build, essentially. It's not going to just be sitting and rotting away in a driveway like it was. So anyways, guys, thank you for checking this one out. Probably going to head home shortly after I get this all sorted out. So I'm just going to go deal with the finalizing the paperwork and everything, and I'll check back with you guys shortly. Oh, I just made it home. Had to stop for gas on the way, of course, but yeah, so the Chrysler 300 sold, as you saw, and we're going to be using that money to fund the next project, like I mentioned. But the only mods we'll probably be doing before it gets parked for the winter are probably going to install some RGB underglow and maybe 1 or 2 other very minor things. But coming up this weekend, if I can make it out, I've got some work to do, so I'm not sure, but there's a Corvette cruise happening to support sick kids. So basically the cruise will be starting off in Aurelia, Ontario, and it'll be going through all of cottage country, essentially. And this time of year with the fall colors, I've heard it's absolutely beautiful and just an amazing cruise. So hopefully I've got the time to make it out to that so I can get some footage for you guys. But thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and we've got a ton more coming, like I mentioned. So be sure to hit that subscribe button, and be sure to check back on the weekly, because I'll be trying to post at least 1 or 2 new videos every week. During the downtime of winter, when I don't have the Corvette out, I'm going to be doing some business-related videos and covering some other topics and stuff. So hopefully those interest you guys. But if there's anything that you want to see on the channel that you're not seeing, or maybe something you don't want to see, you know, once I get those videos up, just let me know. Provide feedback. Feedback is really what matters at the end of the day. So anyways, thanks again for tuning in, everybody. I'll catch you on the next one. Until then, peace.